Good morning, one and all. Myself, Sreehari Nair, research scholar from MES Aswambi College, Thrissur, Kerala. The topic of my presentation is diversity of endemic and threatened angiosperms of Adirapalli Gram Panchayat. Western Ghats is considered as one among the 8 hottest hotspots of biodiversity across the belt. Western Ghats harbors 7,402 species of flowering plants and 1,814 species of non-flowering plants. The richest stretch among the Western Ghats is in the Nilgiri Plateau on southwards, which include the Kerala parts of Western Ghats. Kerala is rich in biodiversity, including 5,094 species of flowering plants, among which 1,709 are endemic taxa. Adirapalli Gram Panchayat comes within the anomalies, one of the hotspots in the Western Ghats. The area is rich in biodiversity and also an important ecotourism location in South India, blessed with the famous Marchal and Adirapalli waterfalls and also Marchal shoreline forest. The objectives of the present study is to assess the diversity of angiosperms in Adirapalli Gram Panchayat, to evaluate the number of endemic plants, to assess the number of threatened angiosperms in Adirapalli Gram Panchayat. The study area Adirapalli Gram Panchayat is located in the Chalakudy Taluk of Thrissur district, Kerala. The area is composed of 4 distinctive physiogeographic zones, including high elevation plateaus, medium elevation plateaus, slightly ascending zones, and the low elevation zones. This is a physical map of Adirapalli Gram Panchayat. The study area is mainly dominated with primary evergreen forests, including medium and low elevation forests, and also with secondary or degradation type of forests, such as the secondary semi-evergreen or deciduous forest. And this area is also an important hornbill habitat in the Western Ghats. Field visits were conducted in the study area for the collection of specimens. The plants were identified using important forestry works like Flora of British India and Flora of Presidency of Madras, and data were pulled from many other sources and also from secondary sources to have a detailed account on the species. Coming towards the result and discussion, the present study has documented 1,164 flowering plants from 692 genera and 142 families. The most dominant family was Fabaceae with 74 species, followed by Euphorbiaceae with 62 species and Orchidaceae with 56 species, and so on. Comparing the study with the other major forestry parks, including Chinnar Wildlife Sanctuary, Parambiculam Wildlife Sanctuary, Periyar Tiger Reserve, and Shendurani Wildlife Sanctuary, we can see that it is Periyar Tiger Reserve that has documented the most number of plants, that is with 1,965 species, and Adirapalli Gram Panchayat comes third with 1,164 species. And towards the endemic flora, we can see that out of the 1,164 species studied, 269 of them were endemic, and these include Andrographis arthropurpurea, Bulbophyllum aureum, Dixoxylum bedomi, Ficus dalhousie, etc. It was Acanthaceae family that has the most number of endemic plants, that is 20 species. It was followed by Rubiaceae with 16 species, Euphorbiaceae with 14 species, Araceae with 13 species, and so on. And this is the status of endemic plants. 103 species were endemic to Western Ghats, 100 endemic to Southern Western Ghats, 43 endemic to Peninsular India, 7 endemic to South India, 4 endemic to India, 4 endemic to Peninsular India and India, 2 each endemic to Kerala and South India and Sri Lanka, and 1 endemic to Southwest India. These are some of the important endemic plants. And comparing this with other forestry parks, again it is Periyar Tiger Reserve that has the most number of endemic plants, 515 species. And Adirapalli Gram Panchayat comes in the 4th position with 269 species. The second is Parambiculam Wildlife Sanctuary with 360 species, followed by Shendurani Wildlife Sanctuary with 309 species. And in the threatened plants, 70 species, that is 6% of them comes under the IUCN conservation status. 7 of them were critically endangered, including Impatiens auriculata, Tripetus malabarica, etc. 21 were endangered, including Humboltia valliana, Globidium ceylanicum, etc. And 34 taxa comes under the vulnerable category, including Semicarpus travancoruca, Solanocarpus indicus, etc. 6 in the near threatened category, including Anaphyllum vitae, Tabernia montana, alternifolia, etc. This is the status of threatened angiosperms in Adrapalli Gram Panchayat. And the major threatened families include Annonaceae with 6 species, followed by Lauraceae and Miliaceae with 5 species each, followed by Anacardiaceae, Euphorbiaceae, Araceae, Myrtaceae, etc. with 3 species each. And these are some of the threatened plants from the study area. Comparing our result with other major flora parks, we can see that it is Periyar Tiger Reserve that holds the most number of threatened plants, 150 species. And it is followed by Parmukulam Wildlife Sanctuary with 109 species, and then comes Shendurani Wildlife Sanctuary with 103 species. And the fourth position is Adrapalli Gram Panchayat with 70 species. So we can conclude that the present study has documented 1164 species of angiosperms that accounts for about 23% of the total floral diversity of Kerala. Out of the total plants studied, 296 species, that is 23% of them were endemic. 70 species, that is 6% of them were in the IUCN threatened category. And we can see that 67 species, that is 6% of the plants were garden plants. 49 species including, that is accounting for 4% of the plants were crop plants, and 18 plants, that is accounting for 2% were in the weeds, and the majority, that is 691, about 59% were non-endemic species. And we can see that many of the plants were endemic, and the possible reason for the endemism is only the habitat diversity. We can see that the Barchal forest has a high range of diversity ranging from the pseudosolar formation to the low elevation riparian forest. The low elevation riparian forests are unique ecosystem within the Western Ghats, and this assessment shows that the area is highly diverse, forming a homeland to many endemic and threatened flora and fauna, and hence this area is of high conservation significance and must be protected to sustain the life forms. We can also see that this is the only location where we can find the 4 species of hornbills found in India, including the great hornbills, Malabar pied hornbills, Malabar grey hornbills, and great grey hornbills. So this area is of high conservation significance and must be conserved. These are the references. Acknowledgement. Thank you.